started. So again, I want to welcome everybody. My name is Mona Raglow. I'm the Director of Membership at Central Exchange, and always thrilled to welcome people and to have you on online. I know we have some people joining as we're coming in, so right now I encourage you to go ahead and mute yourself, but I am so excited to introduce Lucy DelSarto. And Lucy, I don't even remember how long ago we met, but it was probably through a multitude of networking events. And
yeah,
I remember many, many, many years ago, Lucy was trying to get me into playing racquetball, and wasn't to do that racquetball thing anymore. So
never happened.
Pardon me?
Never happened. You never came and played.
No, I never came and played. You know, well, lots of excuses. So at any rate, so Lucy's going to be talking to us today. Her company, TCOY, or TCOY, Take Care of You, really is into health and wellness and fitness in many areas, not just the physical, but the mental and spiritual. And so without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Lucy to share her tips with us today.
Well, thank you, Mona. Yes, it was a long time ago. It's probably been over 10 years that we met. I think it was through the chamber, actually, the chamber initially. But I'm really happy to be here, you guys, because my calling is to help people improve their quality of life. And it's a domino effect, because when you start improving your life, it improves the people around you, whether it's family, friends, coworkers, whatever. So it's an opportunity for me to get out there and reach more people. And I will be honest with you, this is my first where I've been the host on a guest on a Zoom meeting. So I'm hoping the technology doesn't go haywire on me. So anyhow, my book, I did a book years ago because I kept writing these blog posts, whatever, and I was just writing it for me more than anything, just to have memoirs, and people kind of liked the stories that I would tell because I'm a conversational writer. And the book ended up not knowing what to call it. I said, well, what should I call it? I'm just putting it all together. Putting it all together. That's a great name for a book. So that's kind of how that came to be. And that's what this little podcast is going to be about, is just sharing some of my wisdom. There's a lot of people out there that are a lot smarter than me, but I am very practical. And this is what has worked for me in my life. And I feel like it will help everybody because it's a simple thing to do. There's usually no cost to it. It's just you being active and doing it. So with that said, I'll kind of give you a little bit about my background so you know where I'm coming from. I'm in my late 50s, so I've got a whole little journey here I'll share with you. I started out, I'm the youngest of 10, and the reason why I bring that up is when you're from a big family, you never eat out. Ever. Okay. So you're given the benefit of home cooked meals. You're sitting around the table, you're nurturing that. Spiritually, you went to church together. It is just a great thing to be part of. And I'm still very close to my family, and people know that it was always like, if somebody had somebody over playing, it was just like, just stay over, have lunch with us, have dinner with us, because one more, what the heck, right? So that whole community is what I was raised in. And it's really kind of funny because I realized that I thought that was the norm, and it's not the norm, to the point where I might just show up at somebody's house and just because I had some extra soup or something I made for them, and they're like, what are you doing here? I'm like, oh, I had extra, so I thought I'd give it to you. Or here's some clothes I don't wear anymore. You want these? And it's just what I grew up with, right? So that's kind of my family background. I had 6 brothers, so I was really into athletics. And what I learned with athletics is if you're injured or sick, you don't get to play. You're the weakest link and you're going to sit on the bench. And I never wanted to sit down and be on the bench. I wanted to be out there playing. So I always took good care of myself. And I would do the things that you should do. You know, it's like the stretching, the eating well. You know, you don't go have a donut and then go run a race. You just don't do those things. So it was just kind of common sense stuff to me, but it wasn't common to everybody else. So that's why I kind of started sharing it. When I became a professional athlete, it was even more so. If I'm competing and I lose, I don't make any money. And so there's my livelihood. So it just became something I did as a norm for me. And I wanted to share that with people. So I became a coach and even coached at Stanford University. And it was really cool because here I am in my, 20s, mid-20s, late 20s, and I'm coaching these kids. And they may be very academically smart, but sometimes they weren't really smart with the common sense type stuff, So I was able to be Auntie Lucy is what I call myself and mentor them. Next stage of my life was, you get married. I got pregnant. I have one wonderful daughter who's now 25, but I will tell you that we as women take care of our bodies the best when we're pregnant. And that's because we have another being inside us, right? We eat better. We look at what we're doing. We're taking the vitamins. So pregnancy is a very good time for us to say, this could be a norm that needs to be changed. I need to take better care of myself, right? So that's when I really kind of started looking even more into the nutritional side. Didn't go off the deep end, neurotic or anything else, but I was very aware of, what you're putting in your body. Like as an athlete would fuel me, but what would give nutrition for me as a healthy being. The next thing happened, unfortunately, was a divorce. Okay. A divorce with my daughter at the age of 5. And what that taught me a lot was to lead by example again, but I had to take care of me to be able to take care of her. And that's very similar, like when you're in the airplane and they tell you to put the oxygen mask on you first, right? And then you can help somebody else. And people are constantly, I'm just saying women as general, we're like an octopus. We just have these tentacles and we're giving to everybody, right? Well, I got to take care of them and I got to take care of them and and there's my job and there's nothing left for you. And people think it's time that's your most valuable asset, but I'm going to have you rethink that. It's your energy. All right. Where are you giving out all your energy? All right. Is it in your work? Is it in your kids? Is it in whatever your priority list? Right. So think of it again. If you give your job 90% of your energy and then you come home, well, now we are home, but if you come home and you're only giving 10% to your family, that's the most important thing to you. You need to reshift that priority and say, I need to make sure I'm giving the most important things in my life priority. Okay. So divorce taught me a lot that I really, really had to take care of myself well to provide for her financially, emotionally, physically, and all those things. The next thing for my life was I've always been an entrepreneur. As I went out on my own, I moved from California. I was in the Bay Area, San Francisco area, and I moved back to the Midwest because I'm a Midwest girl. And I was working, this is great. I'll tell you guys all my story because it's real. I just want you guys to know I'm so real. I've been in your shoes probably. Everybody out there has a different story, but I've got so many stories to tell. I was working with this company doing advertising sales, doing really, really well, and ended up buying a house. I was stoked. I'm like, okay, this is like 3 years after my divorce. I'm on it. This is great. I've stuck through and I got where I needed to be. And I bought the house. And 2 weeks after I bought the house, it was a national company, and they called with a conference call and they said, we're going out of business. And I'm like, oh God, you're funny. You're funny because I was planning on this house and now how am I going to do it? I'm an entrepreneur, but I need to have that insurance. I need to have that income. How are we going to do this? And I got off that call and I'm a prayer warrior. And I just said, I don't know what you want me to do, but I'll do whatever, and came to be, that's when I got into wellness coaching. Now, living in California or someplace that is more geared toward health and wellness in the 90s, let's see, in 99, I moved from California. This would be like 2002, maybe 4. And Kansas wasn't really ready for wellness, you guys. I'm just telling you, I was like a salmon going upstream and nobody wanted to have anything to do with this, but that was what was on my heart so much. So I'm like, okay, I will do this. I'll be an entrepreneur, but what makes me come alive? What in the morning, I can't wait to get out of bed. What is that? What is very obvious to me, and anybody who knows me knows this is true to the core and has been since I was in high school. I remember being the captain on our basketball team. I love to coach and I love wellness. I love to feel good. And my energy, people say, is contagious. I don't know, but it's just, I'm out there. I love it. And I want people to be the best version of them. So that's what I did. I started my company, TCOY Wellness. And that's where I'm at now. I've been doing that. I've gone from my own company to heading down to Florida. I was Florida Hospital's Health and Wellness Facilitator, which was fine, but it wasn't really me because what happened is you would see these people when they first got hired and do a 2-day event with them, and then you never see them again. And as a coach, you want to see the progress in people. So I left that and came back up here, and now I'm with TVH Americas. So I've worked with this company that is global. I've taken the US, the Canada, and Mexico, And I've been there almost 5 years, and now we're working it globally. So I'm helping take it globally. So that's my kind of story in a nutshell. And I usually, when I have a speaker come, I always want to know what's their story, why are they doing it? Are they for real? Are they just selling something? And I will tell you 100%, I'm not selling anything other than to help you be the best version of you. So that's where TCOY, which stands for Take Care of You, is coming from. And I'm just going to give you some of my personal tidbits, and then I'll open it up. And if you guys have questions, go ahead and interrupt. I have no problem with that, because I have a little sheet here that I'm going through, and I'm just a little hyper and energetic, and I may get going and go off on a tangent, so I may forget something that you wanted me to ask. So just jump in, okay? Everybody good with that? Okay. All right, so I'm going to start with a little exercise. What I would like everybody to do is to cross their arms. However you cross it, just cross your arms like this. Okay, got that? I'll stand up. So you're just crossing your arms. Okay, now what I want you to do is I want you to take whatever was on top and put it on the bottom, so you're crossing it the opposite way. Okay? All right, so that probably feels uncomfortable, but it doesn't hurt you, right? All right, you can let go of that. Okay, also go ahead and intertwine your fingers, and whatever thumb was on top, make it so the other thumb is on top. Okay, so those are two simple little exercises that I have people do, because what we do in our life is a series of choices that become habits, that become our lifestyle. They don't hurt you to change it, but it's a little uncomfortable. All right, it's kind of like if you part your hair on the wrong side and you walk around that day, it's like really odd feeling. Okay, so I'm going to talk about some habits that we do and how we can make better choices. Because if you can do little things every day, that's what's going to make you either better or worse with your health, which is body, mind, and spirit. So this is no scientific research. This is Lucyisms coming at you. Just think about when you're doing something that feels so uncomfortable. It's like, I don't know if I want to do that. Okay, anything when you're first learning it is uncomfortable. I will tell you now, during the quarantine, I have my daughter here, and she loves the bar method. Anybody's doing the bar where you do the workouts with your own weight, and it's like a little bit Pilates. Okay, well, give me a ball, give me a sport, and I'm out there, and I'll do it. And she's more of the yoga, Zen type. Well, we're kind of here and here, but there's no racquetball courts I can go play at. So I have to adapt my workout. So walking is good, but I have to sweat. That makes me happy. And so we're doing this bar workouts, and some of them are more cardio and some of them more the yoga, but I'm having a great time. But I feel like a frog in a blender, you guys. I'm like, I was a professional athlete, and I am like a spaz over here trying to do this. And I'm just laughing, and my daughter is having the greatest time of her life, because she's always known me as mom, the pro, the coach, and this and that. And I'm a spaz over here. I can't hold that motion. I can't bring my leg up here. And so I just laugh at it, because that's a habit. I've learned things. She's way better at that because she has practiced it, but I know that uncomfortable feeling is simply because I haven't done it. And the more that you do it, you'll become more comfortable and be better at it. So that's what I'm going to do, is give you a few examples of that. I'm also going to share a little story about what I do when I do classes. I have this exercise which is called the jar of life. And what I do is I would give people a vase, an empty vase. It's probably about this high. And I give them 3 bowls, and inside each bowl are different items. The first one might be ping pong balls. The next one would be rocks. And the third one would be like gravel, like you would see in a fish tank. And I tell them, I'm giving you 2 minutes, and I want you to fill the jar with those 3 bowls. And you can't break my ping pong balls. And ready, set, go. And they're like, well, she didn't give us any direction. What are we doing? I don't know. And they start kind of get nervous, but then they start experimenting with it. Then after 2 minutes, I tell them to stop, and then I tell them the story behind this. I said, would it have helped if I had given you more guidance? And they go, yeah, that would have helped. And I said, well, look at look at it like this. I call this activity the jar of life, and that jar represents your life. And what are you going to put into it? The ping pong balls represent the most important things in your life that are there in the constant and you control. That might be your health. So how well are you taking care of your health? Are you, I'll be fine, I'm young, I'll wait till I'm older and then I'll start dealing with it. Okay, so that might be one thing. Another one would be your faith. Okay, the other thing would be your family. So, you know, where do those rank? And I would guarantee you that probably 90%, if not more, when you look at these people, when they put the bases together, the ping pong balls are on the top or outside of it. They couldn't fit them in. Okay, so what does that tell you? Does that tell you need to take a priority check and say, what am I putting first in my life? Hopefully it's going to be taking care of your friends and your family. It's your health, your faith, because that stuff's going to be there the rest of your life, either good or bad. Let's look at it like with the family. Anybody's had kids knows that you have the terrible twos and kids act out and everything else. Usually the kids that act out are simply kids looking for attention. And if they're not getting it from a positive way, they're going to act out and get your attention in a negative way. Same thing happens in a relationship, whether it's you're married or you're dating, whatever. You know, it's great the honeymoon stage at the beginning, but then people go, well, we just grew apart. Okay, well, you stopped investing in the relationship. That's why it grew apart. So you have to prioritize things and put it in there and give it the time during the day. Okay, the next thing, and then faith would be another thing in there. You know, the crisis that we're going through right now, people, oh, what's going to happen? You know, well, this too will pass. We've been through things before. It's just, where's your base at? Where's your faith at? Because fear and faith can't coexist. One's going to survive, one's not. Okay, so just think about that. Okay, the next thing that would be the rocks. And the rocks would be simply things that you have in your life, but they will change over time. That could be your job, that could be your vehicle, your house, things that are important, but we change them out. We don't have the same car throughout our life. We typically don't have one job throughout our life. Okay, so that's where I kind of put the hand up to people. I go, I love my job and I do it 100%, but that is not what identifies me. It's part of me, but my faith, my family, my health is the most important to me. I'm going to take care of that every single day. And then I know my job is important, but I might go to a different job, you know, anywhere from, you know, a year, 5 years, 10 years from now. So don't get so attached that you feel like that's your identification. I will say that with my dad, when he retired, mom was like, oh my gosh, he's here all the time. He's changing my cabinets out. He's doing this. Men lose their identification when they retire. They don't know what to do because that identified them. Can anybody relate? Shake your head if you can relate to that. A couple people. Okay. So don't get so attached that your job is you, because it's a part of you, but you are you. You have your own identification within yourself. So rocks should be going in there, but the ping pong balls first, then the rocks. Okay, the last thing was the gravel. And the gravel, you guys, it's the marketing specialists that come to us and say, you need this and you'll be happy. You take this vacation and you'll be happy. You take and buy this latest iPhone. You buy this latest. Okay, those are nice things, but they'll go away. And will you really be happy? Things don't make you happy. I'll give you a secret. Experiences make you happy. Cherishing those memories will make you happy. The things will come and go. And not to say that you can't have them, but it's like, what are you building around them? Maybe you bought, okay, I'll say this, when I bought a Wii game for my daughter, okay, that was an expense, but it was quality time that we shared together. That's what we remember, not the actual item, but the laughter that we had. Okay, so that's called the jar of life. And I just want you to rethink about, what are you putting into your jar of life? Okay. All right, so a little bit more into what we're talking about with health and wellness. As I said, my company is called TCOY, which stands for Take Care of You. Another mantra that I use a lot is DCM, which stands for Daily Choices Matter. This is more than a mantra or a business name. It's actually a way of living. It's your lifestyle, and it's my why. It's what gets me up in the morning, makes me excited. And once you embrace the TCOY, so instead of signing sincerely on letters or stuff, I always put TCOY, you know, just a reminder to everybody, take care of yourself, and then DCM, because your choices will either give you a better quality of life or less quality of life. So one more thing I want to really hit home with is to be kind to yourself, because we have that self-talk that's going on in our mind all the time. And we actually have 60,000 thoughts a day. And if you're like most people, we tend to be very hard on ourselves. We wouldn't say the things that we think about ourselves to another person. Oh my gosh, my hair is so outer state. I can't go out. I can't do this. I'm so overweight. I look terrible. I'm not very smart. I can't do this. I mean, anybody else relate to that? I mean, we tear ourselves up, folks. And I do the same thing. People go, but you're always so happy. And I go, I'm the first person to laugh at myself. Like just having to bring my son-in-law up here to fix the Zoom thing to get it. It's like in past days, I would have been, oh, you're so stupid. How can you not do this? You know, now I'm like, hey, Andrew, come here. And I just laugh about it. Okay. So be kind to yourself. You're kinder to other people than you are to yourself. And your mind remembers that. And it can't differentiate whether it's true or not. So when you're saying it, it's thinking it's true. So slow down and think positive thoughts and put affirmations on the walls, on the mirror, or something like that if you need to. That's a great way of starting. So begin and end your day, to me, with a prayer and affirmations to get yourself going. You are uniquely you, and you're awesome, and you are enough. That's not cocky. That's just building yourself up. And you do that for a sisterhood, right? You do that for a friend. You do that for your children. So do it for you. Okay. So now you can see that I'm not all about what we're going to eat and what we're going to do for exercise. I'm much more diversified. All right. Well, I'm going to give you 10 healthy health and wellness takeaways that I personally use that I think could change your life immediately. The nice thing is they're free, no cost to you. I will have a handout at the end. I think it has it listed on that, so you'll get that. So you can listen in and just take it in, because I'm usually one of those people that are scribbling, writing notes, and I just want you to be in here with me right now so you can have this takeaway. And again, if you have a question, interrupt, bring it on, I'll take it. So we're going to look at body, mind, and spirit. So two things I'm going to preface. A lot of people go, okay, we're going to talk about food. I'm like, okay, food's off the shelf right now. I'm not going to talk about that. Usually we know what we should and shouldn't eat. So I'm not even going to go there. Just be aware of your choices and the amount that you eat, and actually the time that you eat it. Those will impact your health and well-being. All right, so I'm not even going to go there. The other second caveat that I'm not going to talk about that I really want you to be aware of would be social media and news. Try to cut back on social media and the news, because the news is very negative, especially right now. I mean, we have a ticker showing us how many people are being diagnosed and dying with COVID, but they're not telling us how many people are overcoming it, right? And your brain's taking this in, and it's making us anxious, all right? So I'm not saying you don't have to listen to the news. I'm just saying limit your intake to it, because that's causing more cortisol to go crazy, and you're getting more anxious by it. And social media, you guys, I mean, I'm on LinkedIn and Facebook, and I'm usually posting a lot of positive stuff, but there is so much comparison going on, and even Pinterest. You know, it's like, Julia Child's in the kitchen. Well, I can tell you, my things, when I try to make it, never come out like that. If I'm cooking something, I'm like, that picture does not look like what I have in my kitchen. And when you keep doing that, you're tearing yourself down. And take that into the next generation below us, the kiddos. They don't even know what real is anymore because of all the fake photoshopping and everything else. I'm loving the fact that there's very few selfies on Facebook right now, because no one's able to go get their hair cut and do their makeup. I'm all in on that, baby, because this is just real. Because I'm used to being sweaty, just whatever I am, and people don't even know that's real. So there's some good things to take away from the great pause, as I call it. But those are two caveats I'm not even going to go into: the food and social media and the news, because I think we know it. We just have to be mindful of it. All right, so the first one is listen to your body. Okay, that sounds really simple, but we don't do it. We just push through because we have other things on our priority list. And I remember growing up, my mom would always say, listen to your body. You know, do you need to sleep? Do you need to eat? You know, what do you need to do? And it sounded so cliche, but it's like, it's so true. How many times do we push through that? Anybody else have a mom that used to say that? Okay, my mom was awesome. She was very wise. I'm sitting on a stability ball. So if you see me going up and down, it's because I'm sitting on a ball, and I just love it. All right, so listen to your body. And if you start to feel a lot of fatigue and you're super tired, if your throat feels dry, it's telling you stuff. It's telling you need to rest, you need to sleep, you need to drink some water. So listen to it. It's a very general thing, but it's telling you something. Okay, I'm going to tell a little story here. There's this guy that's going off on tangent. The guy's driving someplace, and his light comes on, his engine light. And he's like, oh, I've got to be to this meeting. I can't be late. So he pulls into this service station. He says, you need to get that light to go off. He says, I've got to be somewhere. And they're like, well, sir, this is probably your engine light, and we need to do some work. And he goes, You don't understand. I have to be somewhere in half an hour. You need to make that light go away. And so the guy looks at him and says, okay. And so 5 minutes later, he comes out and gives him the keys. He goes, you're good to go. And he goes, thank you. He takes off and there's a piece of duct tape over the light. You know, he made it go away, but he got down the road 5 miles and the engine blew up. All right. We're doing that to ourselves. We're saying, well, I don't need this. I don't need that. I've got to go do this. And you need to listen to your body. That's a great story. I love it anyhow. Okay. Next thing is stay active forever. A lot of people think, okay, well, I did that when I was a kid, or I did this. I'm too tired to do that. You'll get more energy if you stay active. And this could be as simple as walking. I do a lot of walking challenges, and I really do think that the Garmin devices, the Fitbits, those are good things now. I think they keep us accountable. It's nice to have a buddy system, but you know, if you're looking down at your clock and your watch, and you see you only have so many steps, and you're used to having a lot more, it's that little bit of accountability that will get you to get up and start walking. So I'm a fan of those. I'm going to throw another shout out what I do daily. So do something that's daily. That's not too hard to do, but you will do it. I did a plank challenge a couple years ago at my work, and it went really well. And the second time I did, I said, why are we doing this just one day? Let's just keep this going. And so now every day at 11:30, I have a group and we get on and now we do it through Google Hangouts, but we used to do it at work. And 11:30, we hit the deck. We do a plank. Now I know a lot of you may not like planks, so you could do something else. You could do squats, so you could do jumping jacks. I'm really not concerned with what you do, but set it so that every day you do something that's bite-sized, just bite-sized, and you'll see a difference. And here's what we do is we keep a Google Hangouts sheet accountability. So we see by the end of the month, oh my gosh, I did this many minutes of planking. And then you'll get stoked and you'll want to do it more and more. So make yourself a little bit accountable and put it in something that you can see the progress. And one day you may do more than the other, but that's the accountability of doing something every day. Okay, next thing is prioritizing your sleep. Okay, this is another one that we just think, I only need, 4 hours of sleep. I'm good. Okay, you're not good. Okay, you're not. Your body needs that sleep. And I'm going to tell you, having gone through a lot of different stressors in my life, that's probably the one thing I was cutting myself out of a lot. And it was like, once I really made it a priority, things started to get much, much better. I mean, from the brain fog, the fatigue, you have to prioritize your sleep. You can't lose weight if you're only getting 4 hours of sleep, because your body needs that time to recuperate. It's huge. It can cause a lot of health issues. Going through menopause, oh my gosh, I was getting like 2 hours of sleep. I'd wake up, be up for a couple hours and go down for another hour, getting like 3 hours of sleep. That was huge. I couldn't do it. So menopause, something's coming up chat. I wonder if that's somebody selling something to me. How many hours a night do you need? Okay. It really depends on the person a lot, but a minimum of 7 is what they recommend, 7 to 9. And I've had a sleep doctor come in as a guest speaker, and he was talking about that. And boy, the first thing people will say is, I'm fine with 5. Okay, here's the trouble with that is when you sleep, your body is regenerating and recuperating all these things. It's repairing all the damage that's been done. It's a mental thing too. Your body is sorting out thoughts and everything else. So it's decluttering. So you can tell yourself you only need 5, but it's not a matter of if you get sick, it's when, and it's probably going to go back to your sleep. And next to that is the water, which is my next topic. So there is no magic number, but they do say 7 to 9 hours. Kids sleep a little bit longer. And as you get older, it's just harder and harder because of the fact that your hormones are out of balance and everything else. So I totally get that. And you just have to do a sleep routine. I've got some great information. If people want more on that, follow up with me and I will give you some of my information that I got from the sleep doctor. Okay, I'll recommend it. Okay, so the water. Okay, your drink of choice should be water. This, again, it's so simple. We all know this, but what do? We get something and it's like, well, I drink tea or I drink lemonade or I do, these different drinks, which are fine, but your body needs water. If you had a plant, you wouldn't put 7-Up or Coca-Cola in it to make it grow, right? It's a no-brainer. But what we're doing is we're just telling yourself it doesn't need that. There's a book that I read. I'm not kidding you. I think I was 18 when I read it. And it's called Your Body's Many Cries for Water. It will be on the list that I send at the end. It is one of the best books, and it tells you that probably 80% of our issues come from sleep deprivation and lack of water. And I'm talking just water. So I would say if there's one thing you can have as a takeaway today that you could immediately see a difference in, if you can get used to just drinking water when you first wake up, 6 to 8 ounces, and before you go to bed, 6 to 8 ounces, and then through the day, just drink a little bit of water. If you were to have a cup of coffee, you need to drink like double that amount in water just to make it go through your system and cleanse out your system again. So I'm not saying you can't drink other things, but just know the body needs water, and things you're putting in there, the sugary drinks, you know, the caffeine, you have to make it so that it breaks it down a little better. And that's what you're going to do. Have to drink more water. So great book, Your Body's Many Cries for Water. Drink of choice should be water. If you want to put lemon in it, that's fine. Squeeze that. Pet peeve of mine is I usually would cut the lemon and squeeze it. I don't put the rind in there because the rinds have pesticides on it. Okay, so when you go out to the restaurant, I mean, people think that's great, but the countertops, you don't know what's on them and everything else. So that's just me. This is the stuff I know and I've read. It's like at home, you could wash the rinds and you could throw it in there or just squeeze the lemon out of it. But be careful when you eat, when you're out, because you don't know what's on the surfaces, and plus the pesticides. Okay, next thing is take breaks and be mindful. I'm loving what I call the great pause right now of COVID-19 because I think it's hopefully going to be the new norm. People were going 100 miles an hour and they're burning the candle at both ends. And you know, if you burn the candle at both ends, what happens? That candle goes down twice as fast. So if you're multitasking and doing all these things, you're just burning yourself out a lot quicker. So I want you to take a quick pause. And mindfulness is just being focused, slowing down and enjoying the moment. It's really wonderful. And as energetic as I am, I've been working on this probably for the last year and a half a lot, and it's been amazing. I'm not somebody who could sit in a Zen moment and just be quiet like that, but I can actually sit there now. I have an app that I'm using, and it just takes me there that I can just take out all thoughts and just be in the moment. And as you do that, your body starts to calm down again, and the stress levels go down, the cortisol levels go down, and you're better all around, physically, emotionally, your relationships. So I'm a huge fan of just taking the great pause. And here's the trick. When you're doing that and you're trying at the beginning, you're learning it, you have thoughts that come in because you're trying to be quiet, and they're coming in. And all you got to do is say, start again. Okay, there they are again. Okay, there you get a good moment. You get there for 15 seconds, and then something comes to your mind. Oh, start again. That's how you deal with it. It's no perfect thing you do. Your mind is constantly a flutter. But as you see yourself focusing and something comes in, go, oh, there's a thought. Okay, goodbye. Start again. Don't beat yourself up. So the app that I use, and it's big on a handout that I give you, is called 10% Happier. And I started this because they have a 7-day that you can use, and you can just keep repeating it, which I did probably for 3 months. The same thing. I would just go through the week and I would just repeat it. And then on Black Friday, it was on sale. So I bought it and I love it. It's wonderful. So I would really, really highly recommend you do that. Just do the 7 weeks or 7 days and just keep going for weeks at a time. And then if you want to buy the app, but you don't have to. You can just keep repeating it. And it's going to teach you that there's no perfect way to meditate. It's all about being centered, focused, and relaxing, and just knowing how to respond versus react. And right now in our society, we have a lot of people reacting. You know, this COVID has people just going cuckoo. And then you can see the people that just say, okay, this too will pass. And it's really funny because all my energy level, right, that I am, you can tell the type of person I am. I'm probably one of the calmest people out there. When I talk to people, they go, you just brought me back down. And I'm like, it's because I see what's happening and I'm not reacting. I'm responding, but I have my foundation. It's like a tree with deep roots. My roots go deep. All this stuff that I'm sharing with you, I've done for decades. I'm sharing with you, and it works. And mindfulness is not about some cult doing something. It's just being focused. So it's huge. So I'm going to highly recommend that. Also, as you're sitting at your desk, you know, you should take breaks. Like I said, I'm sitting on a ball right now. take your eyes and look elsewhere. Don't let your eyes get tired looking at the screen all the time. You know, for every 20 minutes, you should take 20 seconds and look up somewhere else so that you don't get eye strain. There's simple little things you can do. Get up from your desk. It's really easy that an hour, 2 hours go by and you haven't gotten up from your desk. Anybody else relate to that right now? Even if we're home? Yeah. It's like, oh my gosh, I just missed lunch. I got to go back and do that. So nothing's calling us in. So you need either set a timer or just get used to looking away for your eye strain and for your legs. If your leg's bothering you or back's bothering you because you've been sitting, guess what? That goes back to the very first thing I told you. Listen to your body. It's hurting because it's telling you, hey, you need to get up. The blood circulates down here. You know, we need to get some blood circulating. Okay, keep going. All right, next one is living gratitude. This is one of my favorite things because if you thank before you think or talk, you're going to be better off because we are so incredibly blessed. Even with this COVID going on, there are people that don't have a home, they don't have running water. We are so blessed that we still can go to the store and get stuff to go. So be grateful. That should be your first response to things instead of, this is the, the negative Nellies, the people out there. You will lift yourself up and you'll lift others up. I could go off for hours on gratitude. I think it's probably the one thing everybody could immediately do to make their life better. Like when you walk out of this meeting later and you just find something like, oh, look, I have food in the refrigerator. I'm grateful. Oh, I have that dog that's barking and driving me crazy, but that dog keeps me company. Okay. You got 2 feet, you got your hands, you got your eyes. I mean, it's just, there's so much to be grateful for. My daughter has on her, it's kind of cool when your kids actually do stuff that you've done and you didn't push them to do it and then they start doing it, if you know what I mean. So I used to tell people to have a gratitude jar on their table, and it could be an empty spaghetti sauce jar. You clean it out and then you just put pieces of paper by it with a pen, and every day you date it and you say something you're grateful for, right? So simple. Okay, I have been saying that for probably at least a decade. And when this COVID thing happened, she grabbed a jar, put it on the table with paper and pen, and she goes, I want everybody to write something in every day that they're grateful for. She listened to me, yay! So that's something you can do for your family too, something simple. All right, next one is laughter, okay? This is one of my favorite. I think a day without laughter is a day wasted. And it doesn't mean it has to be a belly laugh that you just can't stop, although those are the best kinds. But just laughing at yourself, at the situation, it's going to make life so much better. And people think it has to be, something that really is funny to make you laugh. I'm like, why are you holding back? I'd rather be laughing than frowning. Find something good to laugh at. And again, every day, every single day, if you need to go to YouTube and watch videos, do that. I'll tell you a fun thing that I'm doing is I'm doing these little video takes for work so that I can empower people. We're doing a Give Me 10 challenge. All right, so I say, okay, it's the Give Me 10, like the ice bucket challenge. You tell somebody to do something, they recruit 3 people to do it, right? I don't like videos, you guys. This is just very challenging. I'm a live person. I like to engage people. And to put myself in video is like painful because I see myself and I think, gotta watch that self-talk, but I feel like a spaz, okay? I'm just gonna say it. So the first challenge was like, all right, let's do 10 jabs, and I go like this, I go, what am I doing? And I'm laughing at myself, but I laughed at it. And my daughter and I mean, we had so many outtakes and my side hurt so much because I was laughing so hard. So if you don't know, there's nothing funny out there, Lucy. I don't know what you're talking about. My life is bad. Oh, trust me, go make a video. Go try to make a 1-minute video. And you're going to laugh so hard because you're thinking, oh my gosh, this is going up on the internet and people are going to see this. This is going to be so embarrassing. And you just laugh and have fun with it. So that's my challenge. If you need something to laugh about, go to YouTube or try to make your own video. Hand in hand with that is letting go. So as I said, I'm laughing about it. I'm letting go of the fear of how I look, how people are going to think of me, or letting go might be forgiving somebody. Let go of stuff that doesn't bring you up. All right. So that's a psychological aspect. All right. Next one is RAC, random acts of kindness and volunteering. If you are having a bad day look up and go out and do something for somebody else. As simple as that. Simple as that, folks. I do it all the time. It's like, it's again, that gratitude thing. Here's something everybody can do, because everyone goes, well, I don't know. I can't do an event. I can't do this. I can't. Okay. Simple thing. Somebody taught me this a long time ago and I do it and I love it. It's perfect time to do it right now. Okay. When you go to the grocery store and you have the clerk there, and we got to give kudos to all our healthcare workers right now, what they're doing for us. But you know, what do? You can't bring stuff into them, but we're all going to go to the grocery store. When you're in line and he or she is checking you out, start a conversation. It's really nice if you can use their name, because their name tags are usually on them. That makes people feel connected. And ask them, what's your favorite candy bar? People will always tell you what their favorite candy bar is. I'm just going to tell you right now. And you go, really? And then you turn around and you pick that candy bar up and you say, bring that up and that's for you. No, cost you maybe $1.50 most, and you have just made that person's day. I did it last week and it was so cute. This guy, I asked him, I was talking, he said, Mounds, I pick it up and he goes, what are you doing? I said, just ring it up, that's for you for later. He goes, I knew this was going to be a great day today. You just made my day. And I'm thinking, if a 75-cent candy bar made his day, I'm doing really good. But it made him happy and it made me happy. And there's this class that I'm taking, and I'll refer to that at the end, and it's talking about RAC, doing random acts of kindness. And they said they had they did a study. They did a number of people, and they gave them $5 gift cards, and they said, you can either spend this on you or you can give it to somebody else. And we want you to come back and fill out the survey and just tell us, did you feel better did you use it yourself to Starbucks, or did you give it to somebody? And you know what? They were asked, how did you think you would respond? And you think, I'm gonna, if I kept it, I'd feel better. But everyone felt better when they gave it away. The happiness level went off the charts. So I just can't wait to see all these people at the grocery stores getting these candy bars. You guys are gonna go out there and do that, and they're just gonna make their day. So I'm so happy. Another thing that I've done, I got time, I'll tell you another story here, is I have 2 events that I've done. My hug day, where I go down and I give free hugs. I usually have some people come with me, and we go to a location once a year and we give out free hugs. And the really cool thing is, a friend told me about this, and I started it in 2009. And I'm like, okay, I know I'm an extrovert, but even this is kind of painful to me, because what are they going to think? And then that self-talk started happening. And I'm like, no, get over yourself, Lucy. Let's do this. And so I rallied up like 5 other friends, and we went down to the plaza. And if you want to look at that, you can go to YouTube and put in KC Free Hug Day. And the story of the first one was really cool. Every year I have a story, but the first one was, go down there, and the first lady I see, we have these signs that say free hugs, and I see this lady, she's got a dog, so she's going to be friendly. So I said, hey, today's Global Free Hug Day. They're doing this all around the world, and I'm just a hugger. Would you like a free hug? And she goes, oh yeah, she gives me a hug, and I'm like, all right, that wasn't really challenging to me, God, I get it, okay. And so I see this other gentleman, Hispanic gentleman, sitting at the fountain, the main fountain at JC Nichols, and he's got his head down like this. And I'm like, come on, let's go do this, Lucy, charge. And so I go up to him and I go, excuse me, sir. I said, today is Global Free Hug Day, and I brought it to Kansas City. Would you like a free hug? And just like you're looking at me, that's kind of how he looked at me, like, huh? And I go, okay, just to let you know, seriously, this is going on around the world. And I said, I think the world just needs to see and connect with each other more. And I said, I'm just out here with my friends, just doing some free hugs. If you'd like one, great. If not, that's okay too. And he looks at me and he says, I need a hug. Yeah. And so he gets up and gives me a hug. And I'm like, hey, here's 5 more people to hug. So he gets my buddies and he gets hugs from them, right? Then we walk around a little bit and did a circle and came back about 15 minutes later, and the gentleman's there. And I'm thinking, oh, do I need to have a permit to do this? What did I do wrong? And he says, can I talk to you? I'm like, sure. What's up? And he looks up and he had been crying. And he said, I was having one of the worst days of my life, and you gave me hope. Thank you. And I'm like, do you want another hug? It was so awesome, you guys. It's like, we don't think about what we say and do can impact somebody like that. And every single year that I've done that, I've had a similar situation happen like that. So we think we know what they're going to say to us or how they're going to feel, but we're more alike than we're different. And this COVID stuff is making us more aware that we need to connect. That's why people are missing each other, is because we're meant to connect. And when I reach out to people, I go, how you doing? Oh, I miss seeing people. Because we're human beings, we're meant to connect. All right, so doing random acts of kindness and volunteering, that's gonna shoot your immune system up and make you happier. All right, couple more. Continue to learn. This is for brain health. Don't get stagnant in what you're doing. Like I said, I'm learning this bar method with my daughter, which is great. I'm also taking this class on from Yale, which I'm gonna give to you guys. It's called the Science of Well-Being. Great class, it's online, do it at your own pace. But keep learning, because if you don't learn, you're gonna be left behind, and then you're gonna be anxious and depressed. Think of the people when the cell phones first came out, you know, it was the basic flip phone type stuff, and then people got the smartphones. Well, I don't want one of those smartphones, I'm not gonna do that. And now those people that don't have one really feel left out, right? So the kids, this is a great thing to do. Let them teach you how to do things. That brings them up in confidence too. So ask them for their help. And then you're part of that unity, okay? So continue to learn, whether it's, my daughter's learning online. She's taking Spanish through an app. You learn a few words every day and everything else. So she's doing that here. Like I said, there's so much out there that's free right now. You got the time. We're at home. You don't have to do the commute. Do something to continue to learn. Okay, last one would be nurture relationships, the current ones. So right now is another good time that you can call people, you can FaceTime them, you can Zoom them, but nurture your relationships or seek out new ones. That's what brings warmth to your heart. I mean, how many people have talked to somebody they haven't talked to probably in the last 3 years during this crisis? You've reached out to somebody. I've had so many people reaching out and going, yeah, I see your post on Facebook. Yeah, this, and it's blowing me away. It's like, it's finally, they have a little niche of time and they're following me and they reach out or they make a comment, or I just call. And honestly, you guys, I love putting pen to paper and writing a note and sending it off to somebody. Maybe saying in that note, I'm really glad we're friends because you lifted me up during a time, da, 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 da. Okay, words of encouragement. Huge, huge for you, because you're getting to do it, but huge for them when they open that letter and tears start coming out like, wow, I never thought I, meant that much to you. So reach out, nurture your relationships, and don't be afraid to start new ones. A stranger is just somebody you haven't met yet. So don't be afraid, just go out there and talk to people. That's highly encouraging. And again, don't think, well, they're gonna think I'm taking away from their time or doing this. And again, back into that Yale class I'm taking, they did a study on that, and they said more times than not, if you were asked to go up to a person on a plane, a bus, or something like that, you could either not say anything or you could start a conversation. How would you think that would make you feel? And most of them would say, oh, I just want to be quiet. I don't want to say anything. But the truth was, when they were engaged, both people felt better. Human beings, we're supposed to do that. Okay. Whew. I talk fast. I got a lot of information. Anybody got a question for me? Okay, there's one there. It actually is worse at home, not getting up from my desk. Yes, Amanda, I know, right? I just sit there and it's hours go by, and it's like, that's why, if you don't have one, if you know what I'm talking about, these are the ball chairs. And then you can stretch and do different things. They're great. You can still pick those up at different stores and stuff like that. So, okay, here's another question. What are the top 3 food or habits we can use to have more energy? Okay, the first one is drink water. Okay, we're drinking stuff that has sugar in it, which actually, oh, look at that. Cheers. Good job, Robin. Oh, Mona, good girls. All right, the water is the first. There you go, Katie, I saw you. And we don't do it. And, by the time you think you're thirsty and your mouth is dry, you're already dehydrated. So just make it a habit. I told people it's tough for teachers and healthcare workers because I know they don't get breaks, but here's how you know how much water you should drink and why it's good for you. Drink your water so that you have to go to the restroom a lot, okay? And your urine should be about the color of straw, not really yellow, not any deep color, but it should be almost clear. And think of the, people, well, I don't want the inconvenience of, having to get up and go to the bathroom and this and that. And I always tell people the 3 little pigs, they went wee, wee, wee all the way home. So go ahead and drink your water. You won't hear that on another talk show.
Hi, Lucy.
Hello.
Hi, Lena.
It's Lena.
I eat on the first portion. This is my lunch break, so like I eat on the first portion. That's why you don't see my face. But I actually got on my ball because you did. So
Yay! Yay!
and I had it blown up, and I had my husband blow it up for me. Actually, it was missing a piece, and it was seriously sitting in the corner of my room. And it was something that was like I wasn't doing because it wasn't blown up.
Yep.
And then even when it was blown up, I still wasn't doing it. And I just thought of it today. It's because you did. So that's why I'm on my bouncy ball.
Excellent. Let's bounce together.
So one of the questions I have is, I love this information. I think it's great. I'll do it for 1 week and then never do it again. I'll do it because I get instant gratification from it. I'll see something from it and then I'll stop. So I feel like I get lots of good info. I apply it for a short period of time. Yep. And I'm done.
That's the, I call that goal bolting a lot of times, because we have a goal, we get there, okay, I did it, check, done, right? So same thing with New Year's resolutions, people don't stick with them. It needs to be internally motivated and why you're doing it. And this is what helps me so much is that I know I feel better when I do stuff and I do it in small increments so that I will keep doing it. The tracking, like I said with the plank, was amazing because I had a lot of people that were doing 15 seconds. I mean, if you don't think a plank is tough, a minute is tough, you haven't planked. Okay, so people would start and I'd say, come on, let's go plank. And we'd start out like some people were 15 seconds, 30 seconds. And a gal today who was doing it with me, she started out like that. And she is now at 4 minutes. And it's just, she kept going and she would see her chart with the times on it and she felt better. And I'm going to tell you these abs, because that's what happens as you get older. The arms like kind of do the flailing type thing. So that's getting that part. Your abs are getting better. Your core's getting better. You start seeing it, but it doesn't happen in 1 week. Like you were telling you, oh, I did it for a week. You've got to say, I'm in on this. I'm going to guarantee myself that I'm going to do this. Make an appointment on your calendar. I'm doing this for me. It's got to be you. And why do you want to do that? I go back to when I said, I was divorced and I had to go back. I had to take care of my daughter. That was my why. I had to take care of her. Okay. You might want to put a statement. I will take care of myself because I'm worth it. I'm not working out because I hate my body, but because I love my body. Okay. It's just the way you got to twist those words so they're not tearing you down. Like I should, well, you're shooting all over yourself. Stop shooting. Okay, do it. Sorry, that was supposed to be funny. Okay. Okay. But the should is a negative. Okay. You want to say, I will do this because I want to be strong. Okay. I want to be a good role model for my daughter, my son, and a lot of people are getting their families involved. So do you have children, Selena? No? Okay. That sometimes can help. Do you have a dog or a cat? Yeah.
2 cats and a dog.
Okay. Get that dog to be active with you. Okay. That's really a fun thing when you have a dog, because they don't know distance, right? They're like, we're out, we're going. Come on, keep going, keep going. So take that dog on the walk and they'll keep pushing you a little bit more. Okay. That's a good thing. So I would say just accountability. If you can just write something down and just remind yourself why you're doing it. Just put an affirmation on a post-it or something and put it on your mirror in your bathroom. It's like, I am strong. I am enough. I'm doing this because I love my body, not because I hate it. Okay. Thank you. Another one here. Let's see. My son has started working out with me last week. I asked him what was the thing he was most proud about himself right now. He said, working out. Oh my gosh. Love that, Katie. Rock on. That is great. How old is your son?
He's 13.
13, what a great age, because that's the age where, they kind of want to be their own little independent thing. That's the kind of age that you want to ask them, how do you do this? Especially with technology, because he'll show you things and just start connecting with it. My daughter would start to show me, now she does it all the time. She knows what I love. Different things that she'll see on YouTube, maybe a new game. And so now it's constant that interaction, because I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. Show me more. And that's going to be a connection you're going to love. All right. So keep being involved with your son. It's the best thing you can possibly do. Ask him questions, open-ended questions. Good for you. I have to get on another call. Amanda. Okay. Let's see, anybody else? Questions? You got me here. Okay, I'm gonna give you a couple things. If somebody has no question, go ahead and shoot in there. But I'm gonna give you a couple of movies that I absolutely love, some books that I love, some TED Talks that I love, and then I'm gonna tell you about a couple of classes that you can take that are free. Movies. Again, I don't think health and wellness is just about diet and exercise. If you ever want to know more about that, I can give you, videos like, well, they talk about the health industry. So I don't want to be negative Nelly and say, okay, it's all bad and all doom and gloom. The fact that, there's too many pharmaceuticals. I can give you information like that if you want, but I'm keeping this a very positive. So if you want more of that information, let me know. Food Inc., different things like that. I can do. These are going to be uplifting type things. Okay. The Peaceful Warrior is a really, really good movie. It was a book that I read probably when I was like 22, and they made it into a movie probably 10 years ago. As I said, I used to coach at Stanford University, and this book was written by Dan Millman, which was made into a movie. He was a gymnast, and it is amazing. Okay, it just puts a different perspective because you need to see, again, gratitude, seeing what really is going on in your life. There's never nothing going on. There's a lot of stuff going on, but what are you focusing on? Where's your mindfulness? So if you want to just look at some of the trailers, pull up Peaceful Warrior. 7 Days in Utopia. Has anybody seen that movie? It's another great movie. Again, sorry, I'm a sports person. This is a golfer who kind of loses it because of the stress in his life, and he finds peace. Very good movie, very good book. The Ultimate Gift is another one of my top movies that I always recommend. James Gardner is the person in that, and he ends up trying to help his grandson understand the value of living. The ultimate gift are things that you learn, the gift of laughter, the gift of work, the gift of on and on. Extraordinary movie. I love that movie. TED Talks. I'm a huge fan of Breonna Brown. She has great little short clips, but she's on TED. Her TED Talk Vulnerability is wonderful. Millions and millions of views. I would recommend that. She has a little short clip that's called Empathy versus Sympathy. You could watch that. Simon Sinek is really good as well. Books that I recommend, Your Body's Many Cries for Water, The Slight Edge. Slight is an amazing book. I've watched, listened to that and shared that with people. I didn't watch it. I've read it many times, and it's talking about simple disciplines will impact your life either positively or negatively. That's why the DCM mantra that I come up with falls in place with that. The Energy Bus is by John Gordon. He has a series. Those are wonderful. Another one is Pressure is a Privilege by Billie Jean King, the tennis player. You always think stress is bad. Stress isn't bad for you. It's how you respond to it. Okay, pressure can make you better. All right, and then 2 apps that I'd recommend for you guys is the 10% Happier app. It also comes with a YouTube live version. I think they're doing it every day at 2 o'clock, excuse me, every day at 2 o'clock. There's a live version of that. And then this free course, you guys, somebody turned me on to this, and it's a 10-week course, and I'm into week 6. I've only been doing it for 2 weeks, overachiever, but I just love it. And I know you guys will love this class. So it's under Coursera, so like course and then RA, and it's Yale University. It's self-paced. It's called The Science of Wellbeing, and it's wonderful, and it's free. All right. So that is my stuff. I would encourage you to embrace the TCOY and the DCM lifestyle. You can reach out to me. You can follow me if you want on LinkedIn. I also am on Facebook, TCOY Wellness, Facebook, or you can follow me personally, which is fine. My goal is just to empower people. We're so much stronger, and we're so much more resilient, and there's so many good things that are coming into us every day if we just slow down and take it in and don't get caught up in the rat race of it all. So that's what I got, guys. Anything else?
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think we're all walking away with at least one action item,
Good.
if not 101. So
well, just start with one. You don't want to overwhelm yourself.
I tell you what, if anybody wants to hold me accountable, I'm going to go ahead and order the ball, because my desk chair is just not doing it, and who knows how much longer. So let's see. Yep. Kim, would you be my accountability? Would you make sure I get that ordered by tomorrow?
I will. I'm going to be in the referral and resource breakfast, so I'll make sure.
Okay.
And I'm going to try and get in the happy hour too. So
Good.
double, yeah.
So I'm glad it's a free phone resource. We've got that at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Next week on Wednesday at can't remember what time this was, but Krista Hines will be talking about storytelling in your business. And on Thursday, we've got Sarah Chapman talking about creating energetic alignment both personally and professionally. So kind of ties right into a lot of things that Lucy was talking to us
Gotta
about.
have that energy. Yep. Make
So
sure you
again,
take it.
thank you so much, Lucy. We're going to be sending a follow-up email to everybody with a link to the recording and a short little survey about what you thought today. So again, thank you, Lucy. And I challenge all of us to do one thing that Lucy talked about today.
All right. Take care of you guys.
Thank you,
Thank you
Lucy.
so much.
All right.
Thank you. That was great.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
All righty.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.